Sup Swaggets! So this is part 3 of my Boba Fett What It Should Be. I hope you enjoy. Let's get it on. A young Boba Fett stands in the Camino training room. 4 repurposed Magna Guards stand in front of him. Jango Fett watches from the balcony above them. Honor his life, for with no honor, one may as well be dead. The Magna Guards whirl their weapons and charge. The Magna Guard swings wildly, hitting Boba and sending him into a wall while the others approach. To a Mandalorian, honor is very important. You gain honor by fighting and succeeding to beat your opponent, physically or mentally, no matter the odds or the situation. You lose your honor by being defeated the very same way. A Magna Guard strikes out with his Electro Staff. Boba steps out of the way of the Electro Staff as it flies past. Boba kicks the Magna Guard in the torso and grabs the stick. Flipping in the air, he manages to slide the stick out of the Magna Guard's hands, and it is wrenched upwards, tearing the droid's arm out of its socket. Boba lands with the staff in hand as the guard walks towards him defenseless. Boba strikes out, stabbing the Magna Guard through the torso. He pulls out and smashes the Magna Guard in the face. In the true Mandalorian texts, it is suggested by Jaster Mareel that honor can be regained not just by defeating more opponents, but defeating the one who wronged you themselves. Therefore, the circle of humiliation and redemption is complete. Boba blocks the second Magna Guard's staff with his own. Distracted, he gets attacked from behind, the third Magna Guard jabbing Boba with his stick. Boba falls to his knees as the 3 remaining Magna Guards twirl their weapons and jab Boba with them simultaneously. He yells out in pain as Jango watches mercilessly. You might not understand this in your youth, but one day you'll suffer a loss greater than any other, and you will be honorless. Boba collapses onto the ground in agonizing pain as the Magna Guards jab him repeatedly. Then, you will know what to do. Through the pain, Boba spots the torn arm lying on the ground in front of him. He grabs it, stabbing the closest Magna Guard. Boba leaps into action, kicking out with his leg and scooping the fallen Magna Guard's staff off the floor. Spinning in a circle, Boba decapitates the droids standing around him, with both their heads and their torso processors destroyed. All but one of the Magna Guards fall. Boba charges towards it. The droid swings, missing Boba as he gets onto his knees and slides through its legs. As he passes through, Boba strikes the staff in his hand upwards. It impales the Magna Guard, cutting through its torso processor. Boba continues sliding before falling into a roll and stopping in front of his father's platform. I want you to remember this day, Boba. Remember this when you are alone and honorless. Remember what you have to do. Young Boba looks up at his father before the image fades to show the mask of his older self's helmet staring up at the towering Dolma Palace. Outside, scavengers beg for money and food. Boba Fett walks in and finds a bar. The former hot palace has been transformed into a place of gambling and betting. Boba Fett looks into the crowds of weird aliens and robots searching for his bounty. Slowly, Fett's gaze rests upon a table where 3 men are sitting playing a game of Sabak. Boba Fett walks towards them. The 3 men are laughing and carrying on. Boba Fett spots their holstered weapons. He sits down at the table and the 3 men are immediately silenced. The scene plays out something like this. There's a deathly silence as they stare at each other, wondering who will make the first move. Suddenly, the men burst into motion, drawing their guns. Boba Fett is ready for them, however, kicking off the table, blasting the 2 men to the side with his dual pistols. He leans backwards and flips the chair over his head. The man who sat on the table opposite to Boba fumbles his weapon. Boba raises his hand and shoots a small dart out of his gauntlet. The dart lodges itself in the man's neck and he falls to the floor, writhing in pain. Boba Fett stands up and out of his gauntlet comes a blue light which scans the area. A large man and his young first son barrel through the crowds towards Fett. Just like in the Weequay stronghold, the room freezes.
What happened here?
Boba pulls his gun and points it towards the large man. Who are you?
Don't shoot. My name is Doma. Ajab Doma. This is my first son, for food.
Step aside. You're not my bounty.
Ajab does not move.
Bounty hunter, whoever you are. I don't know how much the Krails are paying you, but it's not enough. I'll triple their amount if you bring me Moron's head in a bag. Then this...
Ajab gestures to his dead sons.
Will all be water under the bridge.
Step aside. Ajab glares at Boba Fett.
Then you have done this to yourself. 20,000 to the man who brings me this hunter's head.
Ajab ducks as the cell saws around the bar pull their weapons and charge. The palace breaks into chaos, lasers flying and people running left and right. Boba shoots his gauntlet towards the wall and the winding grapple hook flies out and lodges itself in the brick. The gauntlet retracts and Boba is lifted off his feet and sent towards the grapple. He hits the wall then flips, spraying lasers towards the ground below. He lands in a pile of cell saws and proceeds to beat them up. In this moment we can have some full-on fast-paced action, as Boba Fett single-handedly fights all the men around. He swipes the detonator off the jacket of one of the men and chucks it into the crowd. An explosion rocks the palace. A huge alien charges for Boba. He rolls out of its way and stands to his feet. He jumps backwards and out the door and presses a button on his gauntlet. Flames fly out and scorch the area, including the creature. Ajab Doma runs after Boba Fett out the doors and into the streets. By the time Ajab gets out there, Boba Fett has disappeared. He turns to his first son.
Find out where that man is staying. I want him dead.
Okay, so that was part 3 of my Boba Fett What It Should Be. If you like that, click here to see part 1 and 2. Also check out my Jessica Jones montage video. I might not be making one of these next week, but anyway, see ya, Swaggets.